Yes. Hello, people out there in reviewer land. It's time for another episode of Cartalk. Lately, today in the news, or this past week in the news, there's been this issue with Anthropic. And Anthropic is sticking to its guns as far as saying that they don't want their AI model, to be used by the Department of Defense or Hexas Department of War, even though it's officially still called the Department of Defense. And it would take an act of Congress to make the name official Department of War. But we'll call it the Department of War because that's what they want to do right now. Even though we all know it's the Department of Defense. The government wants to use Anthropic in any way it deems fit. And Anthropic is saying, no, I think that we should have a say in how you use our technology because we don't want it to be used for unrestricted surveillance. And we don't want it to be used in war for unmonitored drone killing. That is to say, they don't want robots to use their technology to just go out and go on search and destroy missions to kill without any human oversight. And on first blush, that's great. That's fine. I mean, but how long will that last? How long will that code of ethics hold? Back in the 90s, when they first started coming out with encrypted communications, if I recall, there was an article in Wired magazine back in the mid-90s that I read when the people that were writing the article were saying, if you write or if you create a code or an encryption that is new and unbreakable, you have to sell it to the government, meaning the U.S. government. Otherwise, you could be guilty of treason. And I don't know how long that lasted. With 9/11 happening in 2001 and the Patriot Act, I think that kind of fell by the wayside. That kind of resistance to the government getting first dibs on any encryption. I don't think they were ever able to really hold to that. Now they've got all these little messaging models like WhatsApp and whatnot, where they're supposedly very, very secure, but I mean, how secure are they really? Getting back to AI, getting back to Anthropic, and by the way, I apologize, I sound like I've got a head cold because I've got a head cold. I've had one now for about a week. I caught it at work a few days ago. It's getting better though. But Anthropic is not going to hold the high ground for very long. They're already being used in Iran right now for drone killing by either the U.S. or Israel. From what they say, what the reports are saying. But yeah, can you imagine? I mean, that both sides of that, saying that you can't use it for war, for drone technology and holding back, and then what if China, or what if Iran, or what if Russia develops it, which they will eventually. It always gets out somehow. It's going to be somebody like the Rosenbergs that'll leak it. And like in that movie War of the Worlds with, I think, Tom Cruise, remember that? Where the robots or those machines were out snooping around looking for people to kill. What a nightmare scenario. Yeah, that'll come around, that'll happen. All we can do is really develop against it, figure out ways to defend against drones that are powered by AI. In the future, wars will be fought by AI-powered drones that have search and destroy capabilities and can do things without any human involvement. And when their battery pack or power source becomes depleted, they'll be able to just fly back into a base and plug in themselves and get powered up again and go back out. When they need service, when they need a rotor changed or a visual monitor replaced, they'll know it, they'll come in and get fixed up. And that'll be the way wars are fought. But we're on the threshold right now of that. That's about to happen. That probably is happening to some extent. So it'll be interesting to see how the Anthropic case is progressing or moves through the courts. They want to kill the company. I mean, give it a kill shot right now and just say that it's a marketplace threat. And what window open? They want to be able to say that Anthropic is some sort of bannable company, that nobody in the food chain of the Defense Department, or the warmonger, the war profiteering defense company rackets can do business with it. And if they touch it, or if it touches any part of their market where they're doing business, and somebody's in trouble, either Anthropic or the company they're doing business with. It's all about competition, you know. Who's the top dog? And America is and will be the top dog for the foreseeable future. And if you're here benefiting from the society that America has created, and you develop something new here, it's because you're a citizen, or because you're getting all the good things that the company offers. You know, where else would have the social media companies, the computer companies have started other than San Francisco, Seattle, the west coast of the U.S. That's where all the eggheads were. That's where all the brains were. All the technological advancements were happening, because that's where the resources were, and that's where the smart people were. They weren't in New Orleans. They weren't in Baton Rouge. They weren't in Miami. They weren't really necessarily in New York, although some of it, I guess, came from New York. But I think the Manhattan Project was started there, was it? I forget. I know it was in Los Alamos, but the Manhattan Project was named after Manhattan for some reason. Maybe it was just a name. I don't know. Anyways, I better cut this short now. I think that Anthropic and AI is going to rule the world, folks. Pay attention to it. Learn what you can. Use it if you can, because if not, you will be left behind.